Hello, welcome to another video about Google Trends studies, and I will summarize this article. The title of the article is "What does Google Trends tell us about the impact of Brexit on the unemployment rate in the UK?" So, considering the debate related to potential effects of Brexit on the UK economy, I think paraphrasing the unemployment rate, the aim of this paper is to assess the impact of Brexit on the monthly unemployment rate since the vote for the UK leave from the European Union. So mean Brexit, since the Brexit. This is one of the most important indicators of sustainable development for the country. Yeah, the economic, so like unemployment rate is very essential. Um, The novelty of this research is given by the use of microdata to reflect the political instability brought by Brexit, so it was first time published on this topic, and it's a very new article. The results are consistent with the analysis of important macroeconomic indicators and indicate that Brexit concerns decreased the unemployment rate in the period June 2016 and March 2019, with few arguments being provided for this. The state policy should encourage the investment in order to support the future economic growth and sustainable development of the UK. Okay, so this is for advice and suggestion for, and it is the way that the author wants to say that this method can be used for detecting economical problems, and then you can take precautions before that, and it helps you to uh, develop a better and economically stable country. And let's look at the method part. Compared to the previous approaches from the economic literature, the novelty of this research is given by the fact that, so this is also mentioned in the summary part, we used Google Trends to collect the data about the search of the keywords of the word of Brexit in the countries of the UK. The type of cross-section for each country was conditioned by the internet data. We had monthly data for the four countries: England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. So let's see how many pages use. So it's like 2.5 pages almost used for the method part. More panel data models were constructed. Fixed effect, random effect panel data models. Moreover, multi-level mixed effects models were built, starting from the fact that the UK has more countries. The dependent variable in all these models were represented by the unemployment rate. International Labour Organization estimate monthly unemployment rate in the UK countries from the Office for the National Statistics. The explanatory variables consisted a control variable at the national level, inflation rate, and query indexes for Brexit as the keyword which reflects political instability in the UK. Google Trends provides a time series index that reflects the query's volume of those users introduced into the Google search with the associated keywords in a specific zone, country, and region of a country. The query index was calculated as the total query volume in the case of a given keyword that was searched in a specific zone, divided by the total number of queries in that area in a certain period. So it is also mentioned in other articles that a normalization of 100 is for the maximum query share in that period, and normalization of 0 is for the query share at the initial time. The Google Trends tool presents advantages and limits which are described by Asketas and Zimmerman, not sure how to pronounce. The sessionization indicates that search data are standardized in order to diminish the noise from frivolous repetitions, typing errors, rewrites, and other acts. So I think also search data are repeated searches are eliminated in my knowledge. The localization of the search session is made by using the IP address from the computer used to initiate sessions. The major advantage consists in the ability to define a group of relevant variables and build the associated content based on the definition and merge of keywords. Therefore, the effect of different concepts could be easily analyzed. Google Trends is limited to only aggregate image for the behavior of microdata. There are not enough details in the methodology and versioning misses. So there is no data about their gender, about I think their age, so that you cannot be sure who searched those words actually. This tool is, unless you are working in Google, maybe you can get more information. This tool is useful for large volumes and in those locations with high internet penetration rate. The IP address shows only the country. Google might change the commitment related to data provision. The data is extracted from a representative subsample which is updated in the case of a new dataset. Consequently, the data should be stored to get the precise replications. We used monthly unemployment rate, ILO estimate for the 4 countries, and monthly inflation rate at the national level. These macroeconomic indicators were provided, and so that in here regression model is mentioned to create a model, I guess, unemployment rate. And so I'm not very familiar with those formulas, and you can check the article. So that according to RandomFX model in table 1, Brexit had a negative influence on the unemployment rate in the countries of the UK. Our empirical results is consistent with the traditional approaches based on analytics of macroeconomic indicators. So these are the time random effects to explain the unemployment rate in the countries of the UK. So T statistic is giving, and this is the p-value of those. These empirical results are confirmed by statistical data. Other economists explain this tendency in unemployment by the fact that companies decided to hire plans until they had a clear image about the political situation in the UK. The firms hired workers to face the growing demand rather than to invest in technology or productivity. The Bank of England showed that companies' investment fell and they do not intend to invest in the near future, but only to meet the demand by the aid of new employees. A significant growth in the number of jobs occupied by old Britons was observed because of the changes in the state pensions age. So I think some references could be good for this part, because maybe it is sort of questionable to detect the change, and maybe some numbers and analysis could be better to support this explanation. Random effects in time were observed during the analyzed period. In the first 2 months, from inertia to unemployment decreased. Then there was a tendency of growth for unemployment, followed by a tendency of decrease starting in 2018. So you can check those information from the website. So let's read the results. The results of the study show that the long-term impact of Brexit can be very negative in terms of economic growth and employment situation in the UK, as the reduced investments due to uncertainty with regards to Brexit will provide long-term negative implications for sustainable development. Therefore, additional policies are necessary to promote investments and ensure long-term employment opportunities for UK citizens in order to implement sustainable development. So let's read the final conclusion. The proposed econometric models for explaining the unemployment rate in the UK based on internet search for a Brexit are useful in nowcasting unemployment and detecting the moment when unemployment begins to increase. Our approach is limited by the fact that it depends on the internet penetration rate, which is very high for the UK, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, but it doesn't reflect all the people concerns related to Brexit. In future research, in comparison between a traditional analysis based only on macroeconomic data to explain unemployment, and our approach will be made. So in this article, I think this article is quite useful in terms of showing how flexible an article can be in terms of using Google Trends. And I think this method can also be applied in many fields like economy, psychology. And thanks for watching this video. Although I'm just a PhD student, I couldn't just give enough information. And see you next time.